Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on July 6th, 2022. Now, we lost Michael G. Cox a couple of months ago already because his wife is very ill. And I think that people must have been coming to the show for him rather than me, because since then we've had a constant fall off. I'm here by myself today, at least so far. And, that wouldn't be very bad. I think I can make a good presentation on my own. But usually if I prepare for it, right, I would be happy to do a show once a week for about 15 minutes or so. Unfortunately, I just decided that, I should pay for a year's worth of Zoom so I could do 1 hour shows, right? But isn't that the way it always goes? You don't know what you got till it's gone. Isn't that what Joni Mitchell says? Anyway, I'm going to try to do it myself. If someone wants to join in, the show's open, and I'll go for as long as I feel like going. Anything else I can tell you? Michael G. Cox, somebody set up a GoFundMe. His wife has terrible cancer, and I think they need some help. So it's her name's Ariella, Iriela Cox, Cox. His name is Michael G. Cox, as every regular to the show knows. Okay, so housekeeping done. The first thing I'm going to tell you is a couple of warm-up questions. Here's a strange thing I saw this week. This is real, okay? Dr. Susan Oliver on Twitter. You can check her out. It's at Dr. Susan Oliver. I'll figure you can figure out how to spell that. Anyway, she was recruiting women for a study investigating the benefits of using a vibrator. Sorry. A vibrator to achieve orgasm 3 times a week. And, there was nothing salacious about it. It was for pelvic health. Pelvic health. And she she outlined the specific things, prolapse, and you don't want to know all the details, but, it sounds more exciting than it really is. But it's a first for me. I've never seen anything like it. Another quickie. I posted about this guy, a recruiter who's got blue hair. Lots of people commented. Everybody thinks it's fine. If you're a man and you've got blue hair and you're a recruiter, that is A-okay. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? And here's a real question, okay? Well, actually, let me ask you this. Somebody told me she's going into retingent recruiting, R-E-T-I-N-G-E-N-T, and I said, gee, I don't know what that is. And I don't. I posted it, though. Other people said, oh, yeah, it's a common term. But nobody said what it actually means. OK, so maybe they don't know either. And I was just too lazy to look it up. I have a hunch. I think it's a combination of retained and contingent. So what you've got is you ask for a fairly small upfront fee to make sure it's an exclusive. You get an exclusive that way, because real retained is 1/3 before you start, 1/3 when you present your 3 candidates, and 1/3 after the offer is delivered. This is probably like $2,000 up front just to, to lock some cheapskate in. Okay, the other question I was going to ask was, how do you keep a candidate warm? Okay, because you might have a stupid hiring manager who doesn't understand that the market's really hot. If you send in a good person and they don't move on that person right away, if they don't pull the trigger right away, people would tell me that's not the right way to talk after all these mass shootings. But you know what? That's how recruiters talk. If you don't pull the trigger right away, you're going to lose that candidate because there's lots of other people are in the market for good candidates, right? So, the stupid hiring manager says, well, just keep the candidate warm. I want to see more people. Well, I always wonder, what does that mean? Keep the candidate warm. Am I going to lie to the person and say, yeah, they're ready to hire you? They just have to do some admin work or someone's on a vacation. And then for sure, no, you got to tell them the truth. That's my humble opinion. And that's an issue that's going to come up multiple times in today's show. Who's more important, the candidate or the client? Okay. In this case, it's not a matter of making one person more important than the other. The candidate deserves not to be lied to. You don't want the candidate to say you're, pulling his chain or whatever that means. You want them to trust you. You want her to trust you. So you try to be upfront with them. And who's making noise? Is somebody here? Oh, you know what? I'm reading my notes and I'm pontificating. I don't look at myself. So I didn't know. I'm glad you made a little noise. Okay. MarioTheRecruiter.com, everybody. Hey, yeah. Okay. So let me just finish off there. Oh, let me go back for a second. Do you know what retingent means, Mario? Or are you stupid like me?
I'm stupid.
Like me, yeah. And you know what? Like most of the people listening to this show, that's what I believe, okay? So hold on a second. Let me ask you, how do you keep a candidate warm? Let's say somebody tells you, Mario, yeah, she's okay, but how do you keep a candidate warm? Ivan's passing notes. Get on the phone or don't pass me notes. I can't read them. Maybe Mario will read them. If he says so, you can pass the notes, Ivan. If you can't be bothered to come on the show, Mario will read them. And if he thinks they're important, he'll tell me. Is that okay, Mario? You'll be my
fair enough.
You'll be my point man or wingman, whatever they call it. So Ivan,
I'm a pretty good wingman.
I'm taking that back, Ivan. Feel free to leave notes, okay? I got a guy who's going to read them for me. Okay, Mario, what does it mean? So the client says, keep the candidate warm. What on earth does that mean to you?
Anything? That means they're hoping for another candidate to fill the position, and they're just keeping us as a backup. That's the idea behind it.
Okay, so how do you do it?
Nothing. We just tell the candidate we're awaiting a decision from them, and most of this comes in the final levels, like before the offer is released, after the final level interview. So we tell the candidate, normally this keeping the candidate warm, okay, happens only during the final part of the hiring process. All right.
So what do you tell the candidate?
We tell the candidate that we are awaiting a decision, and we will keep you updated as soon as we get a decision.
How long, Mario, am I going to have to wait? What does that mean?
Well, see, we mostly tell the client that we can only keep the candidate warm for 3 days advance.
Okay, you tell that to the hiring manager? Hey, listen.
Yeah, we tell straight to them. We can do it for 3 days max. We can't go more than that, because if they get an offer, you're losing a candidate. And see what happens for our luck, for good luck at least. Most of the positions we work are very tough to fill. Okay.
Very what?
Companies tough to fill. I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, they're tough to fill. So companies.
Well, you got an echo there. Your sound is never good anymore.
I have changed my office. My office has changed now. Okay, I changed to a private office. Okay, I got a really classy private office now. Okay, I got to put some soft thingies here. Okay, so.
No, you need a better mic. That's the only problem. But go ahead.
Is it better now?
No, just go ahead. I'm sorry I said anything.
Okay.
How do you keep them warm? So you just say, look, hiring manager, okay, I'll tell him that he's still in the running, but we haven't come to a final decision, but 3 days max. Okay, it's a magic number. Okay, what do you think?
There's a justified reason for them to delay the offer, such as getting approval from another decision maker, then it makes sense.
Okay. What about this? Okay, name diversity. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble for it, but I have a burning passion to discuss this topic. Okay, this woman says, my name is Rasa. Okay, it's Rasa. Now, she was obviously named after Rasa Gorbachev. Okay, because she was so popular in the 80s, Rasa. Okay, here's the thing though. I always thought it was Rasa Gorbachev, but this woman says, my name is Rasa, Raisa, but it's pronounced Raisa, and it's mispronounced every day, sometimes multiple times a day, sometimes by people I'll meet only once, but more frequently by people I'll have to engage with personally or professionally for an extended period of time. And she's having a big whine about that. Her name is spelled Rasa. It's in English that reads Rasa. It's a Russian name. Okay, your mom gave you a foreign name, and it's spelled a funny way, like for English people. Stop complaining. Okay, what's your take? I know I'm going to be interpreted the worst way.
It's utter stupidity to worry about that. People are becoming so butthurt over the most mundane things.
Butthurt? What does that mean? That means you go to prison and you're raped from behind? That's what it means.
No, But no, it doesn't mean that. Okay, that's called sodomy. I think sodomy, if I'm correct. Okay, you get it up the ass. Okay. Oh God, I'm not supposed to talk that on the show. Okay, listen. I'll tell you something. People are too sensitive. Okay, you pronounce my name totally differently. Iwan pronounces my name totally differently. Rich pronounces it differently. Am I feeling bad about it? No, it doesn't matter. It's just a name. It's just how people call you. And if she's so offended by a person who's going to meet her only once in her lifetime, if she's going to get offended, she has too many things to get offended about. So her life is too good.
It is good. It is good. She's a reporter for CBC.
See, my God, reporters are the biggest headaches on the planet. I swear to God.
Okay, we're moving on. Okay, I got you agreeing with me, but everybody else, if they watch this, they'll say those guys are the worst people in the world. Okay, I got to tell you, it's bad. Okay, now, but here, a woman stated a different opinion. This woman's name is D-A-G-N-E-Y. D as in dog, A as in apple, G as in general, N-E-Y. And she says she has the same problem, only she's not whining about it. Now, I always thought her name was Dagny.
Dagny, yeah, like Daphne.
It's Donnie. Okay, actually, there's no Y. It's just D-A-G-N-E. D-A-G-N-E. I thought it was Scandinavian. I have no idea.
Okay, Dagny. Okay, Dagny. Okay.
Yeah, but now it's pronounced Donnie. Okay, and she understands. And she said, it's with people she works with every day. They never get it. It's they call her.
Yeah. So in the office. Yeah. Yo, Donnie, come here, dude.
Okay.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Here's something that struck a chord with me, that obviously that Raisa thing I liked Raisa Gorbachev. She is very pretty and she seemed very sharp. Gorby was so popular in the 80s when this girl was undoubtedly born. Okay. But this woman, she was a girl when she was born. Okay. Give me a baby. Okay. So the thing is, here's this, I'm just digging my own grave. Every word I say. Okay, here's another thing though. The Raisa thing, it struck a chord with me, obviously, but this one strikes a positive chord, but maybe it's an emotional thing, because when I think about it after, maybe I shouldn't be so excited about it. This woman, Catherine Santos Herrera, I'll mention her name. Usually I don't like to. And I wanted to make this a rule. It's called the interview prep rule. She says, if a candidate doesn't prep for the interview, rule her out. Now, I assume that has to be for an applicant. You're a corporate recruiter. People apply to your company, so they know which company you're in. If you're a headhunter, you're calling people out of the blue, and you usually don't tell them the name of the company. My microphone was falling down. You don't tell them the name of the company until you start after the interview. You do a screen and you say, I think there's a match here. This is the company, okay? And before you go in for the interview, you should do a lot of research. This recruiter says, if they come to me for the screen and they haven't researched a company, no, they're out. What do you think, Mario?
I mean, yeah, if it's as you said, if it's the first level interview with the HR for the company, they should do some research.
And if they don't, see, it's easy to say that, but if the candidate,
don't reject them. I mean, you don't reject them. You give them a chance because they may have the skills to do something in the
company. No. If they know it's company XYZ and they're applying, they should do some research on that company. Okay. And unless, here's the problem. If some people apply to tons of companies and you call them out of the blue and say, look, let's have a conversation about it now, they might not have had time to do a legitimate research on every firm, okay? But if you set up a screen time for them and they don't do the research before that interview, I think she's got a real point.
She's got a fair point, but still, I mean, see, it depends on if the position's a hard to fill position.
Well, if you got a great candidate, you're not gonna throw them out of bed for eating crackers, okay? That's that statement. I won't throw that out of bed for eating crackers. I haven't heard it in a long time. I only heard it once. One guy I used to know said it all the time. Okay. Okay. So we've handled that. Do you have any issues you want to bring up before I continue?
Please go ahead. I've joined the show for quite some time, so.
Yeah. No, it's good to see you. And even though you're the only guest, panelists, feel free to say, I'm getting out of here. I had enough. Okay, I don't mind.
I
I don't
enjoy the
mind.
show. It's a
Okay.
1 hour break from the hustle and bustle of recruiting.
Okay. Ernie goes to somebody else started a round, that's called a roundtable, a Friday at noon. I don't know the name of it. The guy's name is Thomas Alsacio or something like that. And apparently,
Rizavalto, am I correct?
I don't know. I can't remember. But his, you come after me for it, okay, everybody? I can't remember his name properly. It's not Smith. Neither's mine, okay? Anyway, Ernie goes there apparently because he said Ernie told them how he makes a first contact. He sends a LinkedIn request and an email before he calls so that they know who he is. Okay. A LinkedIn connection request, right? Now, I've sent out tons of connection requests that never get any response. So, and when I get them from, far away and totally ridiculous jobs, I just delete them. What?
It depends on the purpose. Now, for example, Ernie will be reaching out to a guy in a similar industry, the food industry, most probably.
Yeah.
And that guy will see that he's a recruiter. He'll think, okay, at some point I may need the guy. He'll accept it. It may not work for everyone if you're just going to reach out to people who, have no need for you.
Okay. So you think if the people are in your niche and they see you sent a connection request, they will
if they're identified, they will definitely respond to you.
I don't know.
Now, but in my case, it's kind of weird because I run businesses. So the game is a little different in my case. I don't even reach out to people on LinkedIn nowadays.
Okay.
I don't connect with them.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? We started this way, but I wanted to find out more from you. We'll work through these. If we run out of questions, or we'll do another. He's told us he's starting a company in Singapore and another company in the US. And I'm amazed. Where does he get the confidence or know-how to start up in another country? I can't figure it out. So we'll get to that. Okay.
All right.
You think about it. I want you to think about it. How am I going to describe this so that people can, I'll get right to the point. Snap, snap, snap. Okay. But in the meantime, let's go on. Randy Deutscher, who was a guest from this on the show. Randy, he was a guest not a couple of months ago. You weren't here. And he keeps telling me, he says, I want to come back. And I said, okay, pick any Wednesday. And then he never picks a Wednesday. He's a good guy. But here's what he said. He did say something interesting. I won't wait for him to tell us. He said, if you're the type of person who needs constant positive feedback and encouragement, and you have to a need to win all day long, recruiting is not for you. Would you agree with that?
Life is not meant for that person. Not recruiting alone. Come on, think about it. You think every day is a good day? Heck, I waited 15 years for something to happen and that crashed last week. 15 years, animal. 15 years.
I know you're married already, so you weren't waiting for some girl for 15
years. Something else. I'll tell you that personally. But 15 years I waited, man. And it crashed.
That's strange. 15 years, that's not a good example. Is that a business?
No, it's not a business, it's an opportunity. I'll tell you personally. Okay. But
I was waiting for someone in his family to die so he can take over their business.
Jesus Christ, that's good. I actually wish that was the case, okay? But it wasn't that. It was an opportunity. 15 years I waited for it.
Tell me when you want.
And what happened is it's the most one of the biggest disappointments in my life.
Really?
But it is. I'll tell you very openly, it is. Okay. I'll tell you personally about it, but it is it's very disappointing. But that's life goes on. Now I had to get up the next day. I mean, I was down with the flu for 1 week, and now I'm back in the office working.
Oh, you had COVID?
Again. Not COVID. I had a viral and a bad throat. I couldn't talk for 5 days. Can you believe it?
Okay, anyway, Jason Barber. I'll mention some names. Usually I don't. He said something interesting. He said 97% of the people you speak to will never get hired. So that's that's the attitude.
3%.
You got to come into the job realizing that almost everybody you speak to is not going to turn into anything for you, right?
As these guys have said earlier, recruiting is sales, whether they like it or not. Okay, you can only convert 3%.
Okay.
Fine. You cannot convert. I mean, you can convert probably 3% to 10% at max into becoming deals. But every year you keep on doing it and you keep on getting better. You keep on making good money.
Okay. Okay. Here's
I become a guru.
You're a guru today. You're the guru. Actually, I have some notes here that I point out one of your virtues. I've praised you many times, and I'll point it out again today. But here's another one that I found strange. This recruiter said that the question is, does a recruiter need Zoom? Okay, I'll put that at see. Oh, and then
I've seen that.
Yeah, he said he hasn't used Zoom. He's turned on his Zoom camera for 3 years. Right. So I assume that means he uses a phone like Rich. OK, but then he said, no, the candidate is on Zoom. I just don't open my camera. I found that bizarre. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. We have done that so many times. I mean, the candidate comes on video, but the recruiter calls in from the other line. The HR person calls in on the phone. It happens. Yeah, but it's not purposely done. It's just like they don't need to get on video. I mean, actually, we don't ask the candidate to come on video.
If you're going to be not on video, why not do it on the phone or on a Facebook?
Because we don't do Facebook. Facebook is not considered professional. Okay.
Skype, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. We don't use Skype. We use Google Meet to set up the initial first interview between the HR team and the candidate.
You were the one who made me pay the money for a year because you said Google Meet is lousy.
That's right. Google Meet is only for the invitation for the call. That's all. Okay, it's lousy for video calls, and the candidates mostly call on the phone anyway.
Okay, we're moving on.
I recommend a Zoom because it's being recorded. You don't need to move on. Stay on.
Well, what do you want to say?
No, that's what I was saying. This Zoom is far better as a product than Google Meet.
Okay, great. There you go. That's why I spent the money, everybody.
It was worth it. Your show is good.
Guy. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zoom. Give me a retainer next.
Okay. But Zoom actually, the quality of the video is not very good. I followed Ivan and I got one of the best cameras. I've got like the Brio, the Logitech Brio, and when you look at us on YouTube, it's not that good. Okay. How to work from home. Okay. This is Mark. Okay. Here's what he says. He's got 4 monitors. One is always on his calendar. He's got a convertible standing desk. That means he can stand up and sit down. He's got a special standing floor pad. Now I've got one of those as well. They are unbelievable. It's so cushy and yet solid enough to move around on without tripping. They cost me $40 at IKEA a few years ago. And
I was cheap, animal. Yeah, things are so costly over here.
Okay, well, anyway, I was amazed at how good it was. I mean, really. And then afterwards, once I knew about them, I started noticing. My friend's house, his wife had one at the kitchen sink, so she can wash the dishes in comfort. Or maybe he washes as well. I don't know. But anyway, okay, so this guy also has a dedicated room. He said you should have, I agree, if you're going to work at home.
Yeah, you need a dedicated room.
If you can. And finally, he says, if you can, have a window so you could look outside. Now, for me, that's a problem. I cover the window because I don't want the sun coming in my eyes. So do you have any, you don't work at home?
I work from an office. I can show you my office. It's not probably set up, but yeah, I've got a pretty good, I'll show it you next time because once I get reviews. Okay,
well, we'll focus on you and your big business ventures. Then you'll show us your office as well. Okay.
My office is
okay, but you don't work at home, so you don't have any tips on that. But I thought that.
No, I worked at home, Animal. For 3 years, I worked at home.
Okay, what do you think
about
my
business after? Yes, he's correct because even I did the same thing. I got a separate room in my house. I have my separate office table. Even now I have my separate room in the house with my office table there.
Okay.
My personal desk. I have that culture in me. I need a separate room and a separate table. I can only work from a desk and a chair. I cannot work from anything else. It doesn't work for me. I can't think.
Standing up, you can't work?
No, I can stand up. At a standing desk, I can do that. But a standing desk is very costly over here. So I didn't buy that. I opted for a normal table.
Okay. Okay, here's something else. Somebody had recommended a book, okay? It's called The Secret Guide to Confident Small Talk with IT Candidates. The Secret Guide to Confident Small Talk with IT candidates. Excuse me. I looked it up. I love the title, but I figured it's a ripoff. But she said, no, it's 37. Sorry, there's something going by here. She said it's $37. I looked it up, 37 Canadian. Okay, so it's less US. I don't know what it is in other parts of the world. She said, starting out.
Ivan wants you to drop the link, Animal. Drop the link.
It's on. I'm posting it on in the Facebook group. Okay.
Please do.
Okay. So it's called Recruiters Online. Is my Facebook group. Okay. So
plug it.
Yeah. So anyway, she told me it's good. She said when she started out as an IT recruiter, this was good. So, you know, if I was recruiting in IT, or even I might buy it anyway. I'm just really curious about what it means. What do you think?
I don't believe it, because when I started in IT, I didn't have any book or anything. I learned just to talk to them, ask them basic questions.
So he's one of those guys that says, I struggled. Everybody else has to struggle just like me.
Yeah, I'm a nasty person. I believe everyone should suffer like me.
Kurth. See, you are. You don't hear anybody say that anymore. He's a Kurth. I've never heard anybody say it in real life. I've only read it in books. He's maybe it's British. You know, they've got a lot of nasty terms that we don't use over here.
Yeah, they're not polite.
Well, yeah. Okay, but Kerr is dated anyway. But here's the thing. What?
I'm a mongrel dog. It's correct. We have mixed blood anyway, so yeah.
Kerr, okay. Is that what a Kerr means?
Yeah. It means an inferior breed dog.
You dog. Yeah, here they call me, hey dog. That's from the States. Hey dog. Okay, but anyway, so with that book in mind, how to speak confidently, have small talk with IT candidates, another recruiter was saying, I started out now in IT, working at an agency, and they divide it into a bunch of different 5 specializations. First is back end. The second is front end with mobile and full stack. Okay. The third is data. The fourth is SDET. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. And
software development, in engineering and testing.
Okay. And the fifth is DevOps. So there's back end, front end, data, SDET, and DevOps. So, I mean, for me, it's Greek to me. Am I allowed to say? Maybe the Greeks will come after me, right? Okay, it's Greek to me, and so if I had a book, also, you know, but Jonathan Kidder also has a book, How to Be a Tech Recruiter. So that might have something.
His books make more sense than the other books. I mean,
yeah, you haven't read this book, and he's giving a review already. Okay,
and I'll tell you why Jonathan Kidder has social proof. Okay, he's a top level sourcer. He knows the shit he's talking about. Okay, and he does. His books are not like, you know, these what do you call it? These gimmicky titles, you know, secrets for confidence. That every sales guru uses that. The secrets to sales.
You know what? I've read some books by gurus, and the thing is, they're in corporate environments, and they're writing in a style like to be professional, and it's hard to read. It's not like a fun book. Although Dean DaCosta's books are easy to read.
These books are nice.
Okay. Here.
Collection of books.
Okay. What would you say to the hiring manager? We go over this kind of thing all the time, but I like to do it again. Okay. It's 12:30. Okay. What would you say to the hiring manager who gives you this feedback? The candidate, this is for real. Okay. This is for real. The stuff I bring, it's not hypothetical. These are people talking about their real experiences.
I've seen it.
Okay. Candidate went on his 4th interview, the final interview, and this is all I got in response as a recruiter from the hiring manager. I don't think he's a perfect fit, or I don't feel he's a perfect fit. Okay, what would you say to the? Oh, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead. My head against the wall for working with such a moron.
Yeah, would Rich tell? I don't think Rich would say.
Rich will give the hiring manager left, right, center, and perpendicularly up his ass.
No. See, Rich doesn't like us saying that, because we get the impression from him that he's very tough, and he says he's not tough. So he's always telling us walk away from the idiots. Okay, but in the meantime, I got a feeling he doesn't walk too fast. Okay, he would give the person a chance. But my first question here is, What if the the hiring manager says it was a gut? Well, you ask him, what do you mean by that? He's not perfect. Then he says, look, it's just a gut feel. Would you respect that? It's my
The guy
gut
doesn't want to
feel.
hire him. The guy doesn't want to hire him. No use wasting my time.
Yeah.
He'll
But
not find
why?
someone else.
Why? It's because just a gut feel. Would you respect that and say, okay?
We have no choice, right? He's the guy who's going to agree to hire the guy.
No, you're wrong. Someone else came up with something else. He said, look, hiring manager, I can honor the idea of a gut feel. No problem with that. But for internal compliance purposes, can you suggest any reasons that might have made you feel it wasn't a match? So I found that was pretty subtle, say, okay, yeah, I understand you don't like the guy, but imagine, just give me something to write down on paper, right? It's like putting the guy on a
the guy's smarter than me.
Yeah, the smarter than me. You put him down on a psychoanalyst couch and say, just give me the first stuff that comes to mind. He says, well, yeah,
Can you imagine?
Yeah, like I hate my mother.
Oh, geez,
yeah. Okay, yeah, he reminds me of my sister. Okay, so I mean, like, really, what is it about your sister that you don't like? Well, she doesn't explain herself well. She, her conversation wanders. Okay, so did this candidate, not give you straight answers? Did that actually happen in the interview? So this guy, I thought he was pretty smart. I mean, he provided us with a way to tease. I'm going to say tease information out of some stupid idiot who thinks he can tell you nothing about what you're looking for. Okay.
100% true. I agree with you on that point.
Okay.
Hey, the guy's a moron.
Okay, I'll agree. But, and the real thing, because you have to find out, well, what's he missing? There's a few issues. What's this person missing? And secondly, Mario, the guy said he's not perfect. You have to ask him, are you looking for a perfect fit? Right? Because I've seen lots of people say, look, you should never look for a perfect fit. You should look for somebody with 70%, 70.
There's no such thing as a perfect fit in our industry. It's not possible. Okay.
And would you say that to the hiring manager?
Yeah, I say straight to the hiring manager. I've told them multiple times. When I've spoken with the customers, I've told them we have no such thing as a perfect fit. If you expect a perfect fit, you're never going to fill this position. You will have to compromise somewhere. The candidate will compromise somewhere. It's not like you're Google, Microsoft or something to come and work for.
Yeah, no perfect fit. Well, the thing that I heard was, look for someone with 70%, so they'll have room. They'll have room for growth. It makes it easier to hire somebody, and they've got a good incentive to come. I'm going to come here and learn something, right?
True.
If they come in with 99%, they're going to get bored and leave. You don't want someone who's got everything. Is that true, or is that just a nice story? What do you think? No, you don't agree.
No,
okay.
I don't agree with that. That's
okay,
right.
You know what? Okay. And Martin.
But I agree with 70% fit. I like that. Because I hire people like that.
Okay. Our good friend Martin Snyder from what's the name of the company? I got a brain gap there. The ATS, the most famous ATS that used to be a sponsor of the show. Anyway, it'll come back in a second.
PC Recruiter.
PC Recruiter. Thank you. PCRecruiter.org, I think. Anyway, it's not .com. He kept telling me it was .com, and it was never .com. Okay. Okay. He said, I like to ask interviewers, what's their strongest aspect? So when they say something, he's not perfect, he doesn't have a, well, what does he have that you do like? Okay. So pull something out of them that's positive. Don't let them, these people, they have to, I got to tell you, we're talking about going on a psychiatrist couch. These psychologists and the psychiatrists, they are stupid as well. They don't know how to, sometimes they sit there and stare at you. You've seen it in movies. They stare at you. That's what Freud told them to do 100 years ago. Okay. And so you come in, you're sitting with somebody, you're a normal person, and you're sitting with someone who's just staring at you like an idiot, right? Yeah, you're going to want to talk to this guy? No. So the recruiter has to be smart. He's got a resistant.
Unless animal. It's like that psychologist who came on Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. She was hot.
The Johnny Depp thing I didn't follow.
Yeah,
okay?
you didn't see the lady who came and she ripped apart the Amber Heard's team, but she was hot and she's worth
Hot
talking
like
to.
smart or hot good looking?
Hot and good smart. Okay, she was both. She was like the total package.
You know what?
Okay.
We're going to get in trouble. People are going to say, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's
my wife
it's
is
a
going to
boys
kill
club.
me, but that's okay.
It's a boys club there." Okay. Okay.
What do you think? It's definitely
Anyway,
going to be a boys club.
Okay, but then you've got to come back. You could say, "Look, I won't go into that." Okay. Anyway, here. Okay, there was something I was going to add to that.
Sorry for interrupting you.
That's okay. I think you okay. Oh, here's one. I'll go ahead to this one because this is the one where I pay you a compliment in my notes. I have a compliment for Mario. It's if there was one thing you could improve in yourself as a recruiter, what would it be? Okay, and I'm going to answer first. Okay, and then you can answer. You got a minute to think about it because I thought about it. I said, and I've said this here many times. And nobody watches anyway, so it doesn't matter. I know nobody watches because I can see the clicks on YouTube. Okay, but I like that lighthearted, I don't care attitude that I think I see in Rich and Mario. It makes it easy for the person you're speaking to if you come across as very relaxed and not intense. You know, yeah, you don't like it. I'm happy, you know, fine, I'll leave, right? Rich isn't like that, really. He's not going to walk away fast, okay? And I don't think Mario is either. But, you know, they seem lighthearted to me, and I like that, okay? They're not worried. I'm worried. Now, the funny thing is, Rich said that he has a terrible
fear of failure.
But
we all have that. We have that.
No, I have it when I can't pay my rent, okay? When I've already made $1 million a year for 20 years, I don't have that, okay? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Last time he said something different, Mario, okay? He said, I used to have. So he's confusing me, okay?
I mean, no. You know what would happen? He became the 11th on Forbes list. Then he forgot about the
I'm number 11. He's number 11. I am the
number
top,
11, baby.
I'm the top solo recruiter in America, okay? My mother
world.
voted 50 times, but that doesn't matter, okay? Okay, so what about you? Is there one thing?
I agree. I would love to improve my cold calling, especially customers. I'm still not got over it. I'm working.
I don't get it. What I just gave you praise for is exactly the thing that makes cold calling easy. You seem lighthearted. You're not worried.
Yeah, it is. I'm good at cold calling candidates. Okay, I don't give a shit. I take the phone and talk to them. Just
no. That's not cold calling, really. Cold calling is business development, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's actually business. I'm not yet not good at business development. I'm still working on it.
I can't believe it.
A couple of months.
Sometimes it's very lively and you know you're good humored. I can't believe it that you're.
Sometimes I come across funny on the phone. I have to accept that fact. Hey, I have to improve. You asked me for something which I want to improve.
Okay, but you didn't give a good reason of what you're trying to improve in that. Well, don't give me.
I'll tell you what I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to improve my fear of calling someone.
You've got fear? You don't see, they say Rich says I'm afraid of failure. This guy said I'm afraid of calling somebody.
I'm afraid of failure, animal. Trust me.
They don't show it, everybody. They don't show that fear. I don't know. I can tell from Ivan. He's a tough guy, but he's got a lot of feelings and he's upfront about them all the time, right? And he doesn't come across as lighthearted. Lighthearted like you and Rich. I know he's got things going on. We're talking about you, Ivan, Iwan. Nethere's a guy who doesn't complain. His name is spelled Iwin. Apparently it's really Iwan, but we call him Ivan and he never gets mad. Okay.
Because he doesn't care about it. He cares about making money.
Yeah, well, maybe. Okay. But okay, here he is.
He agreed with me also.
Okay.
I told you.
So when you said you're afraid of when you're on the call, I know what that's about. I'm afraid too. But what is it you're afraid of? Are you afraid? There's a few different things. You can afraid that someone's going to get mad at you, and you're.
No, I'm not afraid of someone getting mad at me. That I'm not afraid of.
You're afraid of missing the deal.
Yeah, exactly, missing the deal. That's the reason. That's the fear I have inside. It's kind of like a gut feeling. I don't know why, and I'm still working on getting rid of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have that too. But the thing is, if you, I believe, I'm hoping it's possible to train yourself. Anyone, you seem to understand very well the sales process. You said 97% of the people you talk to, you agreed with that, are not going to turn into anything. They're not going to get hired. So every sales process is just littered with rejections. Okay.
Yeah,
and any normal person, any healthy minded person, which I claim you and Rich, at least on the externals.
We are not healthy minded. Sure.
You seem to me healthier than me. Okay. And so any healthy minded person is going to realize that that's a delusion. If you feel like your world is going to fall apart when you're on the phone begging someone for business and you're afraid he's going to say no, you see your whole future slipping away. That's how I feel, but that's not true. Okay. It's not true. Anybody with a brain in their head says, you know what? I got to get 1 million rejections.
That is why it's called irrational fear. I accept it. Still that fear takes over.
Yeah, but then if it's irrational, we should be able to take control of it if we realize it. If you're having a real delusion, you don't realize that it's irrational. You think the TV is really talking to you. I mean, like sending a message, a personal message. Hey, Mario, but if you're saying, you'll say, I just thought they were talking to me from I don't know, The Sopranos or whatever show I'm watching.
I love Tony Soprano.
Mario, you got the right name, Mario.
Yeah,
okay, so anyway,
Mario.
See, but if you're delusional, you don't know that something weird is going on. You don't know it's you. It's always them out there. Okay, but you're claiming that it's you. It's not real, and yet what's your plan about how you're going to change?
I'm working on it.
What does that mean? You got to say something. You got to explain.
I'll explain to you. I have taken some training from Benjamin Dennehy. Okay.
Who?
On cold calling. Benjamin Dennehy, the UK's most hated sales trainer. Okay, and I'm using his script. Okay, which I love. Actually, my biggest flaw was I didn't have a proper script. I don't know how to open up. Now I'm working on that and I'm doing the calls. And over time, I know within a couple of 6 months, I will have no fear of cold calling.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to check with you because I paid for Zoom for a year and there's no way I'm going to abandon this. I don't care if nobody watches. I don't care if it's just me. Nobody else comes.
This is awesome stuff. This show is awesome.
Okay, give the guy a plug again.
Benjamin Dennehy, UK's most hated sales trainer.
Dennehy, like Brian Dennehy.
Yeah. The UK's most hated. Just YouTube him. The UK's.
Okay, you know what? I used to be the most hated recruiter on social media, and I just a few years ago.
Trust me, I would love that title of the most hated recruiter on social media.
Okay, well, anyway, I've just a few years ago.
No one wants to be hated.
The girl came,
so good.
She came from the States and she was here for a few days and she said, you want to meet me? I don't like meeting people, okay? But I went.
Who?
Somebody, I won't mention her name.
Oh my God, I didn't know you had a date.
And she said, well, at Tim Hortons, yeah. And she's nice and she's very nice. We spent a few hours there and she told me lots of people hate you. She told me to my face. But you know what? She told me one person that I was surprised liked me because that girl, a woman, she plays ice hockey, and she broke her leg. And I asked her about it, and just because of that, she thought I was a
sweet guy,
swell guy. Yeah.
Animal, when I come to Canada, we're gonna go to Tim Hortons, okay? To grab a beer. Or something.
Yeah, we'll go to Tim Hortons. I also took. Once Neil Schaefer came here, I took him.
Okay.
I took him to Tim Hortons as well. Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Yeah. Nice and cheap. Okay.
Forget cheap. Actually,
though, I had to travel outside the city, north of the city, to meet her. She was staying someplace. And the Tim Hortons, they had the dark roast, okay? And I bought it there, and it was so delicious. I tried again at a few different Tim Hortons, and it was never as good again. It was just that special day, okay? Okay, let me see.
She must have been quite pretty.
Oh, yeah, she's a pretty woman. Anyway, okay. But that wasn't the thing. She was just nice, okay? And I learned all her life story. Okay, here. A question, I thought this was good. A question for managerial jobs, okay? If you're interviewing, I used to wonder a lot, what do you ask people in a managerial job? Because I was placing individual contributors. And I like this one. What are unhealthy team situations that you've seen? Have you ever gone into a situation and the team situation is unhealthy? And examples that you're looking for are brilliant jerks or cliques, where some people like each other and the other are outsiders, right? And then you ask for, if they come up with something, you ask for follow-up. How did you improve that situation? I like that. I thought those were very good questions. Yeah, it's
actually fantastic. And there's one more thing to look out for is when you find a troublemaker in the team, or a snitch, in other words. That guy's going to cause a snitch and what a politics in the team. That normally happens. What happens? You have a team of 5 to 10 people. Okay, you just need one bad apple to ruin the whole team.
Okay, but that's the thing. What kind of a snitch? Maybe the manager likes a snitch because the snitch says.
But see, what happens is you don't know if the guy is snitching genuinely or he's snitching just to create a good name with the manager.
I see.
You got to see all the perspectives. I prefer no snitch.
Suck-ups, okay. Yeah.
You don't understand what happened. One of my old companies I worked for, the team was fantastic and I was part of the team. And there's a guy in the middle, the old guy creating drama. Okay. And because of him, the whole company was closed down ultimately. Okay. Everyone left. Really? The team was billing $500,000 a year. Okay. All right. Yeah. A team of 10 people, they were billing $500,000, which is quite reasonable. Okay. All right. This was like 5 to 6 years ago. Okay. So, and that guy ruined that for the customer, for the boss. That fool believed that old man. Ultimately, everything was ruined by that old man. It just took one person, one bad apple.
We had, now I remember, we had a situation like that when I started. I was in a bullpen, and one guy was kind of a rough guy, and he had just got divorced or something. His wife left him before and he was so vicious. He would call everybody names, and I thought once he was going to come to blows with this other tough guy. A real tough guy, an engineer. Okay. Yeah, it was an engineer, but he was an athlete in his youth, and he was built like a tree trunk. Okay. That would have been, they both got up and came towards each other. The boss wasn't there. That would have been some fight. I gotta tell you. But this guy was saying, this one woman, she was a friend of mine in the group, and she was a heavy smoker. In those days, you could smoke. And she sat right across from me, and she, her ashtray was always there. But anyway, so she stopped smoking, and then she started complaining, about everybody else smoking. And this guy would say to her, he says, "There's nothing like a reformed whore." Okay.
Guys, awesome. I like it.
And that's when he already toned down. He, after he got over his trauma or whatever it was, his wife wasn't letting him see the kids and whatever. He toned down. He became a bit more normal. And all of a sudden, he was my friend. And I'm saying, am I going to be nice to this prick? Because
I think vicious. The problem was animal. Yeah, they are vicious because I think they're hurt. I mean, not everyone can control or process their emotions. I mean, I'm going to sound very geeky now. They don't know to process their emotions, especially after a divorce and you can't see your kids. And that's devastating.
Trust me. Okay. Some people are born with different brains as well. Okay.
Yeah,
that's just 100% true. Okay. Let me see.
Some people are like us, psychopaths. They're like, okay, part of life.
Yeah, this guy, I don't know if this guy was a psychopath, but at first I thought he was for sure. Okay. Okay. Do you, finally, we've been at it for a long time. Do you have any special issues that you'd like to raise, or something you've seen on some of the groups that you say, that was great?
People don't know whether to post jobs or post marketing shit in your groups.
They are stupid. Yeah.
You need to have something, man. It's hilarious. I swear.
It is hilarious. No matter how many times.
They're recruiters, for God's sake.
Okay, but I've said before, like I run jobs for recruiters as well, and I was a smart. I changed the application questions, and I think it's going to filter them better. But I've been running that for a few years. These stupid recruiters are applying for jobs. Okay, you can post job requests, you can or job ads. You're looking for recruiters, and you know what? Lots of people are getting hired from there. I didn't think so, but I mentioned
it's a pretty good group.
Okay, but here's the thing: that you can post job ads, job requests, and split requests for split partners. And these people, they say, "I'm looking for a job." And they give no other, information. Are they mental?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. You can't filter for stupid. Okay. I swear, people are so. I mean, it's
they're
so
recruiters. They don't get any
recruiters.
information.
Then you can imagine how they are going to recruit for a job. Okay?
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's going to be hilarious. I mean, I think that's why they're called the bad apple. I mean, people are called bad apples in our industry. That's why we're hated by most people, because 80% of our crowd does not recruit for shit.
Maybe why that's why. One of the things is, okay, here's an issue we talked about last week. I don't think you were here, but I'll raise this. It was about salary transparency. And somebody said that if you're not 100% transparent about the compensation, they're going to see you as someone who's insincere, who's just trying to shoehorn them into something, right? And I tend to agree with that. And so there was some discussion about whether, you lowball them at first. So, you say it's 80 to 90, you give them the bottom, so you've got wiggle room. Don't tell them the top number because then you won't, they'll want the top number even if they don't deserve it. But she said, always give the max. Tell them the whole range. And I tell you, I'm sympathetic with that.
I agree. We do the same thing. We tell them the whole range up front. And if they're above the range, we tell them we'll try for it. Can't promise you that.
Okay, but what about the issue then that they only hear the top number and they might not be good enough for the top number, but once they know they're not getting the top number, they're going to be dissatisfied. They'll say no. What about that?
That's part of the game, right?
Okay, well,
you know what? Take the offer.
You're in a minority with that opinion, because most people say these people, you have to play them. They're not reasonable, just like you said. They're not rational. If you say it's 80 to 100,
I was talking about.
They think I need 100. Okay,
yeah,
nothing
but
less.
Come on, no, but just because you need 100 doesn't mean you deserve 100. Okay, I need $1 billion. Doesn't mean I deserve $1 billion. No, well, if I need to create value for $1 billion, I'll get the $1 billion.
Yeah, but you won't understand. Well, first of all, we're not talking about $1 billion. We're talking about much smaller numbers, and most people think they're worth it. Let me see. We've got a few minutes left. Okay, should we keep going?
Yeah, it's a nice show. I like it.
What about this? Say, I think I'm having a lot of fun. I don't care if anybody listens. I enjoy it. Okay.
This is good fun, Animal.
What about Sales QL? Somebody said something about.
My team uses Sales QL.
What is it? Tell us.
It's an extension. It's an extension, and they're considerably cheap. For $37, we get one user.
A month?
Yes, a month. Yes. You get about 1,500.
And hold on. So what is it? It's a contact finder?
It's a contact finder.
So what does it give you? Tell us,
It gives us the telephone numbers if they have it, the mobile numbers if they have it, and it gives us the general work email and the personal email. Most of the time, anyway. Okay.
And it's not taking any information from LinkedIn.
No, it doesn't take. It takes from no, I think they have their own data providers. If I'm correct.
Okay.
But we use the LinkedIn ID to figure out the name of the person.
What?
It uses the LinkedIn ID to link the data.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So you go to the LinkedIn page, you click Sales QL, you have it. But this is the thing, Animal. It's just not one tool that always works, as these guys, Rich and everyone says. It's a combination of tools.
Yeah.
So we have Sales QL, we have Chatterworks, we have Kendo. Okay.
Which
and
one?
I have my
Kendo.
Yeah, Chatterworks is one.
Yeah, Rich likes that. Well, what's this Kendo? How do you spell Kendo?
Kendo, Kendo.ai.
Slower, I can't hear you.
Kendo, Kendo, like Kendo.
Oh, Kendo. Like the sword, the dojo.
Yeah, the sword Kendo. Yeah, dojo Kendo. So, and I have my own personal database now that I've built up. So that's got about 120 million contacts. So, yeah.
Okay, how much is the Kendo?
Kendra's like $14 a month.
And so every different recruiter, you only buy one seat from each, is that right?
Yeah, mostly we have one because we have only one guy working on that particular position.
Mhm.
I mean, that uses that kind of data.
Okay.
So I told you, my team consists of one sourcer and few recruiters. Okay.
Mhm.
So that the source is the only one who needs that data.
Yeah.
The recruiters don't need it.
Uh-huh. You know what? One guy was talking about that it might have been that same guy, Tony, that we were talking about before. He said he's got 2 applicant tracking systems. He loves Loxo, LOXO.
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
too costly.
But it doesn't have any LinkedIn automation. So he's got Jobin, Jobin,
Yeah, well,
which Rich
yeah,
likes.
we use, my team uses Jobit.
The free
We love
version
it.
or paid?
No, we pay for it. I pay $125 a month for it.
Because of the LinkedIn automation?
Not only because of the LinkedIn automation, because it's very user friendly. It's very similar to Loxo without the extra bells and whistles. Okay. See, the problem is this animal. Loxo charges $197 or $125 per seat. Okay. Now I've got a team of 5 now with me. Okay, working plus myself.
Yeah.
Look at the math. Let's come to $1,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
With Jobin, I do it at 1/10 the price.
Okay, but here's what this guy said. He said Jobin has an amazing LinkedIn automation.
Yeah, it has a very good LinkedIn automation.
And just released an amazing CRM campaign feature. Okay. It does LinkedIn connection requests as part of the campaign. Leaving Loxo, however, is not an option for me because Jobin lacks a lot and is not as good as Loxo. Okay. So you're saying, well, maybe it's just you don't need the same tools as he does. That's why Jobin is good enough for you.
Animal, I'll tell you something. Okay. Loxo is good for a single person running a solopreneur. It makes sense. Okay. For a guy who's running a business, Loxo doesn't make sense because it's way too costly unless you're like, what do you call Will Spengler, who's willing to spend a bomb on it. Now he's getting the benefit out of spending a bomb on it.
Okay, so what's this LinkedIn automation function that you're getting from
It'll directly connect. It'll help do automatic connecting of. We don't use it. Okay, I'll be very frank. We don't use it because we don't need it. But no, generally I don't use it. I've been having the same one seat for that for the past 6 months. I haven't used it even once. Okay, but I should actually use it. It automatically connects to sends requests and messages out automatically.
LinkedIn automation always scares me that they're going to put you in LinkedIn jail. Okay,
so what am I going to do about it?
But maybe not. Okay, and okay, so that's it. What about the CRM function? You're not using it.
CRM is pretty good. No, I'm using the CRM, but it's pretty good. I use it more as an ATS. Okay, for my whole team, we all use it as an ATS, and we all have multiple seats, and it's actually a very good tool.
Okay. Somebody commented for him. He said, you may want to look at Hire Easy, which used to be Hire Tool, HIRE.
Hey, overpriced animal. Overpriced.
Okay.
Seriously overpriced. Okay. For the money, Jobin is good. Okay, I mean,
so,
Iwan's is very good. Iwan's ATS is fantastic, but it doesn't.
Oh, I forgot to plug. Hey, see, he didn't show his face. I forgot to plug him. Clang. I'll do that at the end of the show.
Clang is awesome, except that Clang has got some things to develop on top of it.
Okay, we're almost done, so I'll come back to Clang. So, okay, he likes, this guy says you might want to look at Hire Easy or Seek Out, as they have integrations into many applicant tracking systems.
Craziness.
They do a lot of the auto email campaigns, and yeah, you get real email links and real phone numbers instead of relying on LinkedIn. They're not cheap, but they work very well. That's what he said. Okay, so that's somebody else. I will do the Clang ad for Ivan, even though, you know, he's busy. I think he's vacuuming his floor or something like that. He said he's doing housework. Okay?
Is it a day off today for him?
I don't know. Clang, KLANG.SO. Ivan Gulenko, alias Iwan Gulenko. He's an IT recruiter in Switzerland, and he's so industrious that he has so much extra time that he built his own applicant tracking system. And the tough guys like Rich and Mario, they've gone there, they've checked it out, they like it very much. They think it's a contender.
It's a fantastic tool.
Even if they're not using it, they think it's.
No, I'm using a social media tool. I will plug that.
He's got a social media tool. Michael G. Cox liked it as well. So that's
Shout out
the
to Michael
ad.
G. Cox.
Poor Michael G.
Hey, we're
Cox. I
praying
said
for
at
your
the
family,
beginning,
man.
yeah, he's got a problem, a big problem. I don't know why he can't drop in here just to cheer himself up for an hour. It's too bad.
It's not easy, animal. It must be really tough. It's really tough for him. I can
Yeah, it must be very tough to see somebody you love suffering in pain is very awful.
I'm just praying that things get cleared out.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping.
It's
Yeah.
the max we can do.
Is there an ad? Is there an ad we can do for you? MarioTheRecruiter.com.
We're going global. That I can tell you.
Okay. Well, you need some, Mario Global.
I'll get you some stuff later. You'll see the background here.
Yeah, I know.
You see the background?
He's not going to come up with anything good. MarioGlobal.com. Okay. But when you give me one of your, I'm conquering the world website, I'll point Mario the Recruiter. I had to buy Mario the Recruiter for these guys.
Yeah,
are,
you got it.
Yeah, I always would say Alexis. I don't know how to spell Alexis.
Listen. Alexis is going to exist as one entity. Now we're opening a new entity called Ascend IT Recruiting. Okay. Or Ascend Recruiting. Okay, which is
I can't believe that there's no company called Ascent Recruiting already.
Ascend, ASCEND.
Oh, okay.
Not Ascend. Ascend. It's the same meaning. You go to the next level of recruiting. Okay. So that's going to be there on the background if you're going.
See, I like different names. Like the name, if to come to this show, is Bitch Fest.
I wish I could use it. Okay.
Bitchfest.ca. I got it from Amy, but I like to bill her as she put the bitch in Bitch Fest, but she doesn't think that sounds very flattering. Yeah. They always made fun of me for doing research. I was doing research and I found some comment from her from like 6 years ago or 8 years ago now. And I said, hey, I like that. Bitch Fest. Okay. Hilarious. Mario, thank you for coming. I enjoyed talking to you so much. Ivan, I didn't enjoy your company, but you're here. I understand. Okay.
Yeah, his presence is felt.
Everybody, if you want to be a guest, just let us know. Thanks a lot. Bye, everybody.